think Jonathan Palmer and MSV have done a sensational job with this place, and it really is still one of the crown jewels of British motor racing.
There's no argument. This place is looking better and better every time I come back here. Jonathan Palmer is doing a great job. His attention to detail is maybe a little bit painful for some of the people that work for him, but I mean, it is working. The place does look good, and if it looks good, then it seems to work well. And you know, it's just one of those tracks we've got to try and take this Grand Prix track even more.
Absolutely, it's just such a beautiful place, and it really looks the business. Augusto Farfus sits on pole for round 16 of the FIA World Touring Car Champion. That's his teammate Jürgen Müller right behind. Thiago Monteiro starts in second place. Fourth place on the grid, Ricard Riedel. There is Liri Farfus, his wife, watching from the BMW garage. And for Augusto, a chance now maybe even to take the championship lead with 8 races remaining. Red lights are on, reds rise. Long hold away they go. Very good starting further back. Tom Morgan got away very slowly. Jordi Genet almost came to a halt, but Augusto Farfus and Jürgen Müller first and second, as we'd expect. Here comes Prio around the outside, holds on past Thiago Monteiro. Montero's going to have the inside line at Druids.
Somebody got off. There's a Chevrolet in the background.
Very heavily, straight into the barriers.
Yeah.
That for Menu, that will have been because Marini was right at the back. It's Alan
Menu.
Well, he's avoided the barriers, I think. Prio now behind both of those sets, and that's what I feared would happen. On the outside of one, left the door open for the other. So Riedel squeezed by. Ricard doesn't need 2 offers, does he, to take a half chance?
No.
Oh, and Zanardi on the inside gets by Stefano Dasti. That was a good move from him.
I wonder what happened to Alan Menu, because that looked like maybe he'd been tagged in the back, because he seemed to just spear off completely to the right there.
Maybe he just got shoulder charged on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend. They're really
Boardman making a dive up the inside of Tom Coronel.
Yeah, Coronel trying to come round him. They're both behind Stefano Dasti as they battle for the independence lead. Zanardi got in front of that 3, and behind them Hernandez, Portero. Oh, there's danger there between the 2 Spaniards, and here comes Robert Dahlgren. Volvo looking very quick indeed. Safety car is out. Now, why is the safety car
because of Alan Menu, I would suggest.
Well, he should just roll the car back down the bottom of the hill and park it then.
No, I think it did roll down. That's the problem. It rolled back from the back, bounced back from the barrier by the look of it. It'd be nice to see that again.
Sorry, yeah, battle for the independence lead. Dasti and Boardman, and Boardman must not pass. Stefano Dasti braking hard now as they slow down to pick up the safety car at the end of the pit straight. It'll be waiting just by Paddock.
I think if that car of Alain's went straight on, head on, that might have been a fairly severe hit for Alain.
But the bonnet didn't even look bent, which is what I was thinking from the onboard. The front edge of the bonnet looked completely normal. So if he's had a big impact, it hasn't done an awful lot of damage.
That's not a good sign.
The Medivac helicopter for Henry Surtees. Still waiting to hear any news at all from Surtees. That's Norbert Michaelis and Alan Menu.
The reason that we pulled the safety car out is that they need the helicopter, the safety helicopter, to take off for one of the drivers from the Formula 2 race, which I presume is Henry Surtees.
Yes.
So they've had to really pull the race back. They can't have the cars racing past when the helicopter's taking off.
So what happened to Menu now there? John Waterman here closest to us with a headset on, and Ronnie there as well. Looking at the car.
Oh, somebody got a jump start.
Huge jump start behind Boardman. That was Genet. Now, Genet's had a clutch failure on the line before and jumped the start, and that looked exactly like that. Looked like the clutch just bit and he was going.
Let's watch and see what happens here with Alain. Alain gets up on the curb,
on the inside,
back of the car gets loose.
That was his mistake. He nearly took Zanardi off with him.
Nah, he's just caught the curb on the inside there. It's unbalanced the car, so he's just taken too much curb. Back tyres are cold, and round he goes. Yep,
and he didn't hit anything. So the incident, the safety car rather, as you say, very probably to allow the helicopter to take off from the medical centre.
Now there we go. That's the Medivac helicopter taking off
and
now.
They will be trying to replace that as quickly as possible in case it is needed again. Well, all our thoughts with Henry. He is certainly in the best hands possible. John Waterman on the radio to Alain, and looking perhaps for some damage somewhere. Alain might be saying, well, how come the car just spun on me? On board with Menu from the start. That's Huffy in front. Oh, look at Dusty.
A blinding start from Dusty there. I don't know, I think he just got on the curb. It got loose. Yeah, he hasn't hit anybody here yet. Oh, just tags Zanardi there. Doesn't hit anything. It could be that that front left has got a little bit of damage from where he touched Zanardi. Maybe that's what the team were looking for.
Well, Menu's back out of the pits now. We'll rejoin the safety car on board with Andy Prio. That's Rydell. He goes around the outside of Rick, and then he sees a chance perhaps to also do Thiago Montero. He's got the speed, John. He has to go for it there.
Oh, he's got to go for it, absolutely. And the trouble is he's now on the wrong line coming up to Druids, and it's easy for Montero just to shut the door on him. Fortunately, he gets in before. No, he just locks the wheel. Just locked the front right there, and that allowed Ricard Rydell to get back through as well. Well, I do hope Henry Surtees is okay, because I'm quite sure that's what the helicopter's for.
Yes, absolutely right. So Norbert Michaelis could not have had a worse time in this car. Such wretched luck. The car was wrecked on the first lap of race 1, again through no fault of his own, and wrecked on the first lap of race 2 as well. So his mileage, well, free practice and qualifying, that's all he's had. That's why they're having to be careful with the helicopter. Look, it's blowing away those barriers that are just to remind the drivers not to go on round the Indy circuit. So safety car not hanging around exactly, that M3 driver, is he? He's really trying to make sure the guys have plenty of heat in the tyres. It's often criticism of safety cars that they go too slowly and cars overheat, particularly single-seaters, but here maybe the opposite.
But we now have a safety car driver that's a professional driver. He's a young Portuguese driver, and he's been brought in since the incident at Pole when the safety driver pulled in front of Franz Ensler and caused a huge amount of damage and a potentially good result for Ensler. So now we have a professional driving the car. See Andy just lock up that front right, ran wide and allowed Ricard Rydell to get back through again.
Yeah, Prio just braking a little offline, a little wider maybe even than he needed to be, but over that brow, that's where the car goes light. And John, as you know, if you're on the brakes at that stage, then suddenly the wheels lock and you go skating off the gravel traps, just waiting with open arms. So getting ready to restart this then. We're told there's debris on the track at turn 4. Well, that's Surtees. That's not actually debris. That is those barriers that the marshals will run and push back into place. Drivers know to turn left there anyway. It's just a visual reminder. It's just a little bit of the furniture that you don't particularly want to be drifting around. So, all sorts of incidents and accidents. Incidentally, Ivan Muller, 19th place, behind James Thompson in 18th place. So that'll be an interesting contest for Tomo. World champion right behind him at the restart. I wonder what the Lars will be able to do. Very possibly not a lot against the determined Muller and a turbo diesel.
I think Muller will just sail past them, gone.
Now the question at the restart, Farfus and Jörg Muller, can Montero and Rydell, who we ride with now, make a move on Jörg, get by him and maybe attack Farfus to perhaps win the race and deny Farfus those points?
I think if Jörg is careful here, he just comes off the throttle a little bit, lets Farfus get slightly in front, not much, he's got to keep a couple of car lengths.
So away we go,
Just
green
perfect.
flag waves. Yes, a very good restart by both BMW drivers. And in fact, Thiago Montero and Ricard Rydell look as though Ricard wants to get through. He does want to get through.
Well, Ricard needs the points because he's further up than Thiago Montero is.
Plus, he could do with getting away from Prio also, which wouldn't be his second thought. Might well be his first thought. Well, Montero had the opportunity to let Ricard by, and he signalled his need to get by. Gabriele Tarquini is behind Andy as well. So Tarquini needs to get up the order, but the imperative for Ricard now is to think of himself and then sell it later as a Seat move to try and get by Thiago Montero. The cars will be effectively two Seats in the same places, it'll just be different names in the frame. And this is Ricard's view of Andy Prio. Up out of Surtees they come, climbing this very steep hill. Daste, the independent leader, from Boardman and Coronel, and behind him is Sergio Hernandez, then Portero, another Indy, then Robert Dahlgren is in 14th place. Sweeping out of Hawthorne.
Andy looking quite serious here. He's getting his sleeves rolled up to get right in about the back of of Rydell. The trouble is that I think Rydell's got a quicker car than Montero, but Montero's just making it difficult for him.
Well, that's good news for Andy, isn't it? Because it holds up Rydell, and Rick has to try and attack, and that means he's open to attack. But right now behind Andy Priaulx is Gabriele Tarquini as well, and Rob Huff not able to show much pace. Huff second in race 1, still 7th place here ahead of Alex Zanardi. Of course, Priaulx spent the entire race up Rob Huff and Alain Menou's back bumpers, didn't he? And couldn't get by Huff in the end. He's going to be equally hard pressed, I think, to find a way by Rickard Rydell. Rick's nobody's mug when it comes to being overtaken.
Fastest lap of the race so far, Jörg Müller. So he's trucking on.
Well, he backed off Augusto at the restart, didn't he? Now he's had a little bit of groove, to get a little bit of room to get back in the groove, get right up behind his teammate. He's not going to challenge Augusto, but he will ride shotgun right behind him, car length or so off the bumper, just to remind everybody that if he needed to, he could have won the race.
Christian Poulsen's gone off somewhere.
Yes.
Turn 7, which is Stirling somewhere.
Yeah, a sheen curve, so he might well be out in the gravel there. There is Stefano Dasti leading the independence battle. The black car, Tom Boardman. Oh, and
Volvo getting shuffled out.
Slowing right down, and that's Tommy Rustad, I think. Tommy Rustad drops right to the back of the queue.
Yeah, there's a problem with that car. He's just losing pace.
More independence battling going on here. Felix Portero with the colours of Spain on his roof behind Tom Coronel, third there in the independence category. Sergio Hernandez is in amongst them. He's not an independent, but here comes Jordi Janay charging his way back up the order after that awful start as well. Boardman, Coronel chasing Daste, then Portero, he's an Indy, and Janay goes straight by him. Dahlgren picks up a place as well, as they, no, he doesn't quite yet. They've got Ivan Muller behind them. They've all cleared James Thompson, so you've got Janay there, Larini there,
and Muller right on the back of that.
All carving their way behind Dahlgren through this independence battle. And do you know what? Muller at the moment 17th, but might not be beyond the bounds of possibility. He could get a point, goes
down
inside Larini. Yeah. He's not going to mess around, is he? Come on, get out of the way, I'm coming.
The thing is, you sit behind someone and they figure out where you're better or worse, so the minute you get on the back bumper, you go for it, you get past.
Yeah, he's not going to be looking for half opportunities, he's just going to go. Oh, Montero
gone out.
And Rydell nearly got a sniff at it. Is he going inside at Surtees? No, he can't.
The trouble is, Rickard's taking that line that's going to slow him down up the hill. He really needs to just concentrate and get a better run through Stirling's and up the hill, pass him on the way into Hawthorns.
Good news for Rickard is that they leave Priaulx behind under acceleration. Again looking at Hawthorns, but you're right, he'd already compromised his exit.
If he'd got the exit speed right coming out of Stirling's, he'd have nailed him going into Hawthorns there.
Further up, Montero really struggling in third place. As down the order, Robert Dahlgren drifts one, as Ivan Muller again taking very few prisoners on his way up the order. That makes him 15th now, Ivan. She's got by Larini and Dahlgren in half a lap. Farfus and Muller first and second. Montero, Rydell, Priaulx, Tarquini, and Huff is in front of Tarquini. No, sorry, he's not. He's in front of Zanardi. My mistake. So they're all third. Montero, Rydell, Priaulx, Tarquini, Huff, and Zanardi are all third.
And Jörg Müller is actually looking the racier of these two BMWs at the minute.
Yeah, what a shame he's not well placed in the championship. It's all for naught, I'm afraid. But 4 BMWs in the points at the moment, and that's very good news indeed for them. 3 Seats, mind, and look how hard Rydell's defending there. Priaulx pushing. We're on board with Andy. There's Rickard's view of the BMW.
The Seat boys really need to get on the phone to Montero and say, listen, Rick's obviously faster, let him through, because he's going to get run over by the top of Priaulx here. Priaulx's just going to nail him, and just watch this, down the inside. And he's blocking. The trouble is that blocking there slows you down through that particular point and up onto the main straight.
Yeah, so is Priaulx selling Rydell the dummy, forcing him to go in shallow there and slow on the exit to try and get a run on him around the Grand Prix loop.
If I was Rydell, I'd be on the phone to Seat saying, get Montero out the way, I'm a clearly faster car.
Well, do you know what? He shouldn't need to. These drivers are educated enough. If they can't read a race, if Montero can't see that Rydell, who's much better placed in the championship than him, has to get by, then Montero's in the wrong job.
Muller's up to 15th now, and moving up quite quickly.
And he's catching this group next, and Janae was making a move on Hernandez, I think, in the background there. He was making a move on Hernandez in the background there, and he's still not found terra firma. Kristen Polston's car off in the background there. So Janae lost ground to Portero, Ivan, Dahlgren and Larini there. Not having much of a race, is he? This is the independent battle. 9th, Daste, the yellow BMW for Vika Sport. 10th, Tom Boardman. 11, Tom Coronel. And here they come. Look, Sergio Hernandez can't even stay with this independent battle.
And still the fastest car at the moment is Jörg Muller, and he's 0.3 of a second faster than Farfus. And unfortunately, he won't be allowed to pass. He will not be allowed to even put him under pressure.
Well, now these guys all going quicker and quicker as the laps reel off. And the BMW's stretching their legs. Here comes Rydell. Montero's going to have to be very careful, or Prio will go inside him. Prio is inside him. Can he keep the pace going? No, he hasn't got the momentum.
And then what's going to happen now is Gabrielli's going to nail. He'll nail him as well, because
he's going to have to defend hard. Too late. Job done.
Yeah, Tarquini pull back across now. Done. And you could see that coming there. Andy just got balked enough, and you need to get a really good clean line out of Stirling's there to get that throw up the main straight. That is the most important corner on the track.
It's exactly what the BMWs always say. Where we are quickest, mid-corner, that's where the Seats are dog slow and always hold us up. Then they get on the gas and go, and we're left off the power and stuck.
That wasn't necessarily what caused that. What caused that was sort of trying to get past Rydell. Rydell managed to get Montero. That slowed Andy down slightly. And the wily old fox, this is all
that was Janae around the outside of Portero, and do you know why? Because Muller was up the inside of Portero and Janae was just stuck there. That's why he ended up rally crossing. So Ivan Muller is really taking no prisoners.
And we got Tom Boardman up now into 10th place.
Yep. So he's still chasing Stefano. No, Daste's dropped down 3 spots. Look, Daste's had a mistake there.
Boardman's top independent.
Inside Stefano Daste. Good move by Ivan. Goes through again. Look, throws the car at the apex of paddock. I'll handle it on the exit. I've just got to get to that curb. So Boardman leads from Coronel in the independence category. 3rd is Daste in the BMW, but he's shuffling down the order. Oh, and again, more shuffling. Tarquini goes by Montero. This time, Prio's inside. He's got enough of an overlap shortly, but Tarquini has been shuffled by Prio as well, and now Montero is defending them against Huff.
And Huff's up there too.
Well, Huff's just been held up, and that means that Zanardi has gone by Huff, so Huff got balked badly there. Prio's gone, he'd already done that, gone past Montero, but for Andy, who was in 4th, he's now down to 5th, but with 2 well-placed Seats, Rydell and Tarquini in front of him, and they might chase down the race leaders on board with Huff. Goodness me, drama all the way, and Rydell has absolutely cleared off because he wants to be so far ahead of Gabrielli that Gabrielli can't catch him. There's Ivan's girlfriend.
But Zanardi did a good job, because Zanardi's got past Huff there up into 7th place.
Yes.
Where did he come from?
All action. There is Menu or Larini? Larini in the middle.
Menu, I think, is it not?
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Actually, Engsler, Menu. This is 19th. Engsler, Menu, Philip Geipel, and behind him James Thompson. Behind him is Kirill Ladigin. Or is that Van Lagen? Can't remember which of the 2 it was. Thompson's in front of them though. The first red car is James Thompson.
Van Muller now 12th place.
Right, let's flick on to the second timing screen briefly. It is Van Lagen behind, so looks like Ladigin's car did not leave the garage, but action everywhere. Menu goes by Engsler. Engsler with new teammate Geipel behind, and Montero makes some mistakes, and Hardy's going through, Huff through as well. I sense danger.
Oh, yeah, that was always going to happen.
Yeah, and unfortunately, unusually, the man in the middle got spat out, and that was poor Alex Zanardi. Huff now with Montero all over him.
Oh,
over the
come on, no, that's not... Come on, boys,
wow,
behave yourself.
So that's
150 mile an hour straight. That's not where you want to be biffing off barriers.
Yeah, Thiago Monteiro desperately trying to get back in front of Rob Huff. He doesn't want to drop out of the points, wants to score.
So that puts Huffy up into 6th place now by my reckoning.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. Prio in 5th in front of him, yes, Huff in 6th. And
that was the racing incident. It was, I mean, Rob had nowhere to go. Alex was coming across on him because he was forced that way because of Montero.
Yeah.
And I mean, where was he going to go?
Yeah, he's got 2 wheels on the grass, Huffy. So yes, it was the 2 in front made a mistake. Huff had to capitalise, and yeah, it was just unfortunate that Alex got spat out. So looking there at Robert Dahlgren being caught and chased by Nicola Larini, and they have, in fact, Felix Portero in front of all of them now, as Zanardi has rejoined in front of them. So Boardman 8th, Coronel 9th, Hernandez 10th. Boardman and Coronel battling for the independence lead, and Prio all over the back of Tarquini, and this could be very important for the championship.
No, Tarquini's got that well covered.
Only just.
And still the fastest car on the track is Jörg Müller, and he's doing a great job of just backing up Farfus. He's a few tenths quicker every single lap.
And they're 0.8 of a second or 0.7 of a second a lap quicker than Rydell. So look at this battle behind Tomo. Behind the red car of Thompson is Engstler, then Geipel, then the other red car of Van Lagen, and behind them is Vito Postiglione in that white and blue and turquoise BMW, and Thompson drifts a little offline. Engstler comes in, but Tomo's got the line on the exit. He shuts the door. They're 3 wide. Here comes Van Lagen. Wow, Van Lagen just loves to race wheel to wheel. He's alongside Geipel, and he's really got a good run, John. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now the BMW is not exactly renowned for being a gutless engine, so he had a very good look at him then. The Lada boys are actually really enjoying getting involved in some racing. Just a shame they're not closer to the points at the moment.
I think Alan Menu's got a bit of a drama going on because he's not doing particularly good times. He's a second and a bit adrift. He's falling back into the clutches of James Thompson here, so I think there's something not quite right with Alan's car.
Yes, something fundamentally not quite there right from the start perhaps, but Huff also drifting away. 1:35.5 he's just done.
Gabriele Tarquini doing a blocking job here. He's got his elbows right out to stop Andy getting near him. And he knows that Andy's strong down the hill here on the brakes.
Cuts to the inside, but again you see the Seat so slow in the middle of the corner, and he had a good run going but just couldn't cut back inside Tarquini, so he's going to have to rethink that one, I think. Maybe sacrifice Druids and have a look at Graham Hill Bend, because that's a definite pass. If he hadn't made contact there, he might well have got through on the inside.
But the Seats are really powerful up the hill there, and really if Gabriele is going to get clear of this, he's got to make up the hill and get on with it.
Boardman has got clear in 8th. There is Coronel, 2nd in the independents, and that yellow Seat turbo diesel, that is Ivan Muller. After the wreckage of race 1, he is 1 place, a Seat, away from a championship point.
And guess what?
And guess who's in 7th? Thiago Montero, a factory Seat. He could end up in 7th place here. He's not going to get much off Rob Huff as a freebie, but Muller is really working this hard. Hernandez has finally got by Coronel. Daste and Portero right behind Coronel. Daste has a look. Portero's the championship leader, don't forget, from Coronel. But for Tom Boardman, this will be a chance to win in the Independence Trophy for the first time, and that's got to be a great boost for him.
Well, the problem is you've got Tom Boardman in a private Seat, you've got Tom Coronel in a private Seat, and you've got Ivan Muller in a factory Seat needing the points, and I wonder whether they'll be asked to sort of let him have the space. It's all a bit fraught for that happening yet though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, behind Ivan it's all a bit fraught. Oh, and again at Graham Hill Bend, Tarquini is a little slower, and Prio's looking to the inside now. Has he got enough of an overlap? No, he hasn't. Tarquini's just got the grunt off the corner. Again, Andy having to look somewhere else, but that's his best opportunity.
And just watch the torque of the Seat now. It should just pull away. Get a couple of car lengths. He's safe enough up into Hawthorns and then Westfield. But Andy's clearly stronger from we come through here clearways. What's
Janae and Larini, or Janae and no, that was Larini going off
down
there.
through Paddock Hill.
Yeah, and Menu coming in the background of the shot there. So again for 4th place. It's amazing, isn't it, how hard these guys have to battle for any position on the track. There is just carnage going on behind. Well, not carnage, but real edge of the seat stuff. If you're sitting there out in the grandstands or out in the countryside, fantastic viewing. It's harder now to follow it on the TV because we're trying to see 3 things at the same time. Once a lap, every battle comes by the fans. They get to see all of it.
We've still got Ivan Muller, the championship leader, down in 9th place, going very quickly, going quicker than anyone really run about him, apart from Rob Huff, who's sort of down in the 35s.
On board with Huffy, and there's the battle in front. Tarquini holding off Prio, but despite all of that, Huff still can't get close enough. The Chevrolet has not got.
Having said that, they're holding each other up just enough.
Oh, and Andy's on the grass, and Huff's got a chance.
Down the inside of him.
Can't. Prio knows the danger there. He only just comes back on.
Now that's a problem for Andy, because instead of having to attack, he's going to have to defend.
Yes.
And that's going to compromise it. Don't go there, Rob. Get the good clean line out of there and nail him going up through into Hawthorns.
So Andy drifts out wide over the curbs. Yeah, good exit by Prio. He's recovered that and he's calmed that thing down a little bit and leaving Huff behind a fraction.
And you can see that Tarquini's pulled 8-10 car lengths out now because the two of them are tripping each other up.
Well, that is a problem now for Prio. It's going to take him the rest of the race even to catch Gabrielli, and Andy's car not looking the most stable. Here's our lead duo. It was a Chevrolet 1-2 in race 1. It looks very much as though a BMW 1-2 is coming up far ahead of Muller. Rydell's got nothing to show them. He's still 3 or 4 tenths slower. Hernandez gets by. Oh, in fact, Ivan Muller's already gone. Muller's gone by. Muller is 8th. Boardman is now 10th as Hernandez gets by him, and Coronel's right behind. So the two Sunred teammates, 1st and 2nd in the independence category, and Daste jumps up the queue. This is like 125cc motorcycle racing. Daste just leapt in front of Portero.
That's a great little battle there.
But look, the BMW is holding each other up. That's fantastic news for Boardman and Coronel.
There's 7 cars in that bunch.
Well, yeah, exactly, and 4 of them are the top independent drivers as well. Zanardi, Dahlgren closing in on the back, and it is, they're slipstreaming each other on. It's fantastic. Can we come back next week? This is brilliant stuff. Never mind Valencia, let's have 2 race weekends at Brands Hatch. Brilliant action all the way. And look at this, Ivan Muller, well, it was never going to be a hard pass on Tom Boardman. Boardman was always going to let him come through, and Boardman did well to hold off what was coming up behind. Couldn't stop Hernandez coming through, but now he's blocking Tom Coronel. Coronel wants to get by, doesn't he, because he's got Daste and Porter and everybody else behind him. He wants to get maximum points in the independence category, and Daste makes contact, holds up Portero, through comes Zanardi. Portero's on the outside, Daste's on the outside, Zanardi on the inside. Goodness me, again another break for the Seats.
And Bournemouth's doing a good job to hang out the lead in this independence race at the moment.
And poor Dahlgren in the Volvo wants to get involved, but I'm not sure that he's thinking it's entirely a sensible thing to do. He might pick up 5 places if he just sits and watches. No, here he comes. He's trying to come alongside Portero. He's got the inside line. Good move, but can he hold it on the exit of Westfield? He does. Down into Dingle Dell. Moves in front of the independent championship leader. Now he drifts up to Sheen. Portero's got to get back there. Whoa! Although, of course,
all over the place
it's an invisible car, so it doesn't cost him any independence trophy points. And that is Prio being passed by trying to get by Tarquini. Tarquini's gone by Rydell. So Tarquini has been shuffled up past Rickard Rydell because he's better placed in the championship.
There's a surprise.
As far as the manufacturers are concerned, it doesn't make any difference to Seat. Or did Rickard make a mistake? We're assuming he's been shuffled by, but
I would say that he's been shuffled past quite clearly. He needs the points more than Rickard does. He's a few points in front. He's actually 21 points in front of Rickard, so it was always going to happen that way. It's now Rickard's job to hold Andy back.
Yeah, Rickard
and Rob Huff.
In the championship, Rickard is their last resort, isn't he? If something drastic happens to Tarquini and Muller, they've still got a man in the hunt. But he is their last resort. Now he will be used to gain them points if he can. And of course, he'll be no keener to lose 4th place to Andy Prio than Gabriele Tarquini was. And Tarquini, now free of Prio, is rocking away in third position. So an important race weekend for Gabriele Tarquini, but Ivan Muller is in the points in 8th and Thiago Monteiro is 7th, so Muller will finish 7th. It's not the biggest gap that Tarquini could have hoped for. He'll be sitting there afterwards going, I can't believe that French guy got back into the points and got 2 points out of it. That's just not right. Still, that's the way it goes. 15 laps completed. They're on the last lap of the race, and a victory for Augusto Farfus, 2nd for Jörg Muller, 3rd for Tarquini, 4th Rydell, 5th Brio, 6th Huff, 7th is going to be Ivan Muller. Sure, oh, it's not. He wasn't close enough. Montero 7th. No, it was. He was close enough. Muller 7th, Montero 8th. Then Boardman wins the independent category from Coronel. Daste 3rd, Montero 4th. Collapse of Stout Party, completely out of breath here. Augusto Farfus, our race 2 winner in Brands Hatch. Chevrolet 1-2 in race 1, a Schnitzer BMW 1-2 in race 2. They started 1st and 3rd on the grid. It always looked like it could happen, and this time Augusto Farfus kept himself out of harm's way. Thankfully, let's see if he can continue to do that a little bit more often.
Well, that's really sorted the championship out now, because you've got Ivan Muller still leading it with 82 points, and Gabriele Tarquini is 77 points, only 5 points behind now. And right on his tail is Augusto Farfus, 1 point adrift.
So 6 behind the lead, that's fantastic.
But then there's a great battle behind that. Rick Rydell, 55 points, Rob Huff, 54 points, Jörg Muller, 53.